Hello, our friends, Evolutionary Energy Arts family.
Hello there. Welcome back.
As always, guys, I want to thank you for your support over at Patreon. We couldn't do it without you guys.
It helps a lot.
It absolutely does. Exclusives going up over there each week, usually multiple times. We just did this video over on Heart's Home. Again, Heart's Home is where you go when you just don't want any of the news, and all you want is more of the spiritual side of things, with more light, less darkness, let's say.
And if you're new to this, learning a spiritual practice, this can give you a lot of answers.
Yeah, absolutely. It has its own playlist over there. It's a unique channel. Everything does go up over on Patreon as well. Patreon, what I've been doing, trying to grow Heart's Home, though, is I've been putting links on Patreon to Heart's Home, as it does have a nice assortment of different playlists here that you could go and deep dive in, as you can see here. So we have Elon, showing off his rockets and how they land. I always look at that and think, are they just rolling it in reverse, and they're really just shooting on up, because it's quite a feat to have them land this way, it would appear. But at the same time, the technology that really has been in play here on planet Earth is so far beyond these Tinker Toy rockets. In reality, it's going to be mind-blowing for people.
I think that's a very good name for it, the Tinker Toys that we've had.
Yeah, and the video over on Heart's Home was about a change in perspective that's happening. It's undeniable. I think we are, our consciousness is going through a rapid evolution at this point in time. And yeah, I'm stuck with thinking about the summer solstice and how life is going to be just completely different by the time we get to summer solstice of 2025. Absolutely. Hey, what is that? Is it a plane? Do you think? Is it just a drone? I mean, there's so much drone, orb, UAP, UFO footage coming out right now, you can't keep up with it.
It's quite a mixture. So, I mean, if we look at what we're looking at now, a lot of these things that we think are orbs, they're drones, they're technology. But that doesn't mean it's not technology that's otherworldly. It very well could be. But we also have beings where you can literally see the Merkaba up in the sky that are true orbs. So right now what we're looking at is a mixture of our technology, their technology, and our discernment is critical right now. But yeah, definitely a lot of beings are showing themselves, and it's going to be hard to tell the difference, because if you look back when there were so many other photographs and when, say, like Mother Shipton, she's describing things in a certain way, she did not know that they were technology. And I think that's where a lot of humans are. They don't know that a lot of this is technology. Again, that's not to say it's not otherworldly.
Yeah, flying humanoid morphs into a metallic sphere in Turkey again. The interdimensional aspect of it, as we've always said, every day that goes by, you probably walk through somebody. You literally walk through somebody. There's so many different beings experiencing this planet, even from different perspectives on different frequencies. It's just like a radio. You turn the channel, you go from rock to jazz to new age to country to blues. It's just where do you tune in? And again, consciousness is having an experience in this 3D reality, but there's also beings just outside our scope. And everybody, all the indigenous people of the world, recognize that when somebody passed on from the body, that they didn't disappear. They knew they were just simply in a different dimension. They might not use that word, dimension or density, or even frequency, but it was understood. Everybody knew this. This was accepted. This is just, whether we see, we're talking about the Greeks, or we're talking about the Australian Aborigines, or different people in Africa, Southeast Asia, the Americas. they all knew life just shifted its perspective, and that's really what we were talking about. But Cindy got a channeled message from the earth herself as she is ascending. She wants to awaken as many people to stay on the ascension path with her, because again, ultimately things are choice. And here you have the Franklin Fire. This is in Malibu, east of Malibu Canyon Road. There's evacuations underway. It's actually very close to Pepperdine University. It's very chaotic situation. This has sprung up quickly, and here you see kids on campus, and you can see how the smoke and the fire is right there. Again, if it isn't the fires, it's the rains and the floodwaters. And then there's also earthquakes. And of course, we were looking at that 7 quake that was off of the coast and wondering what is that going to lead to. Well, there was a 5.7, 5.8 that happened in Nevada that people were feeling in Sacramento. And a lot of people noticed this. The broadcaster here, he says he felt kind of nauseous and queasy when it happened. When you look at it, this is the last 7 days, and this is this area in Nevada that's getting the swarm. There's a lot, 163 quakes here in the last 7 days. And if you look at just the last 24 hours, 151. The thing that really struck me, we were talking about how that 7.0 quake over off the coast was just like 0.6 of a kilometer deep, and it didn't seem to make any sort of sense. Well, he was, the newscaster, trying to make sense, because if you look at USGS, they're saying 0.0 kilometers deep. He was quoting 0.6 of a kilometer. Somebody was saying how deep this is basically on the surface. This is, what is this, an explosion? That's what, it sticks out in my mind. A 5.8 on the surface. Is it volcanic in nature? Is it an explosion? What's really going on? And this is Luke's. This is a little town here, which literally means light, right? Luke's. And this is the area that the quake is at. Now, there's nothing really that I could see that's very notable. This looks like a typical place Cindy and I would be hiking in Nevada and seeing evidence of advanced civilizations. So as you see, it looks like it's on the side of a rise. I don't know. Again, there are those that say these are deep underground military bases being taken out by the guys with the white hats. And as you can see when you look outwards, it's due east of Lake Tahoe. And here we see Reno up here and Carson City over here. And then, of course, if we zoom out a little bit further, you'll start to see the area that is Nellis and, again, all the military facilities. Hawthorne is not far by. This is Walker Lake, and Hawthorne is here. There is an awful lot of military equipment in the Hawthorne area. There's storage areas. So, was something detonated up there is really the question I would have.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was weird when I felt into that. I did feel some sort of conflict, so I'm not sure what to make of that. I didn't get any information other than it feels like some kind of conflict. So this is definitely something. It's very odd, extremely odd being on the surface.
Is it like blurred out, like when you look at certain topics and you try to remote view them and you see that they're using psychics, other psychics and other entities to block it out?
Yeah, it's definitely one of those situations where I can only see so far. It's like when you go to look at something, the focus, it's up to the camera focus. If the camera only is going to give you focus on this one little spot and everything else is blurred out, that's kind of how it is. That's the only thing I'm able to see right now. So very interesting. It's something we'll have to keep an eye on.
Yeah, it certainly is curious. And if we zoom out, you could see that it's still eventful. We still have aftershocks coming in over by where the big quake was, 27 right now. If we go and we look at 7 days, you could see, there's 368 in the map area right here. That's a lot. That's a lot of quakes, a lot of aftershocks. There's been a lot of activity up over in Alaska too. If you zero in over here, this I think was a 5.0. But if we zero in over here and then we go out 7 days, you'll see quite a swarm, including some sixes. There's, I think, 3 sixes, a 6.1, a 6.3. And another 6.3. So, what's really going on? It feels, again, like some big events are knocking on the door, obviously, and yet, we haven't had the big ones. There was a little increase in activity that they were showing us around the New Madrid as well. 17 quakes here in the last week. And there's been some weird ones in unusual places. You had this one up on the border of New Hampshire and Maine, or actually into Maine a little bit, Upton, Maine. Weird times. Yeah, weird times. Powerful explosive eruption. This is over in the Philippines. This Canelon volcano caused evacuation of almost 100,000 people. We see this in the Ring of Fire area. What they're calling a rare double lunar impact. Flashes captured hours apart on the same night by a Japanese astronomer showing some sort of impacts on the moon. There's been a lot of fireballs. There was a asteroid that supposedly came down in Siberia. When I saw the videos, it just looked like a typical, to me, a ship going to light speed, so to speak. And, was it really one that impacted the Earth? This is, I think they mean New Haven or North Haven, Connecticut, some black Chinooks, these, right? Chinooks, yeah. And, what's really going on here? There's a lot going on. There's almost too much to keep track of, as you see some sort of orb going by a plane and then saying, wait a minute, hey, I'm going to go check these guys out. Yeah, there's nothing to see here. No. And then this one's weird. Was this in Arizona? No, this one's New Jersey. This wasn't the one I was thinking of, but this is just another one in New Jersey. There's so many people right now having close encounters of various kind, technological, military, yeah, probably quite a few. Maybe the majority, I would say, is military. And then there's just a lot of weird stuff going on. Foo Fighters, yeah, just like World War II, early 50s, absolutely. This guy used to work at SpaceX, okay. So, yeah, Foo Fighters, he's talking about Foo Fighters. Isn't that interesting? This is the thing. Cindy and I would be out in the desert, and we'd see this stuff all night long. And we would just be sitting out there at the campfire looking up, and you're seeing stuff, and okay, the way this thing is going, and then all of a sudden it says, nope, I'm going to go this way. That's not a satellite, we spent so many nights out in the dark, pitch black desert where the visible stars are in the billions.
Yeah, I mean, this has been going on for so long. It's just now we definitely have an uptick, and I do feel strongly it's tied to this mysterious piece of moon ship that just sort of drifted into our atmosphere and parked for a little while and then drifted away. I mean, all of this is very much tied together.
It is. And, here's somebody, they swear a lot, so I won't play the sound, just to not offend. But, yeah, I'll give you guys links as always. They're watching something, and they watch, and then it disappears, and then later on they catch up to it, and it looks to be, again, more of a some sort of military, perhaps a drone, perhaps a helicopter, airplane. There's just so many of these. This is in New Jersey too, or no, North Carolina. This one's in North Carolina. Now they're saying it's not a plane and it's silent, but it does have a lot of, when you see it disappears from view here, hopefully the sound doesn't turn on, and then later on it gets closer, it comes back around the other way, and here you can see the flashing lights. So there you go. Now it looks to me more like a plane shape, wings and everything. But whose plane too? I mean, if are we talking our military on patrols worried about Russia and China because World War III is about to kick off and they want to test every toy they have? That's very likely. But then Star Family is still here too, and that's the part of this that certain people don't want to acknowledge. The fact that, there are beings from other planetary systems that are here as well, and interdimensional beings as well.
They're definitely out there, and people are making contact. A lot of people, I feel, are probably still in denial. They're probably telling themselves, oh, that's just one of our regular drones, or this is one of our technologies. But I can tell you, when you have that funny feeling in your gut and you have that pulling to look here or look there, that's very likely to be someone that is here to assist you in some way.
Yeah, and again, when the second moon that was really a ship came and spent its basically 2 months observing humans, what Cindy picked up was that the human consciousness was at a higher level than anticipated. So that may mean that some ETs are simply going to say hi in a little bit more obvious manner.
Yeah, a little more open fashion.
Yeah, this was, I think, the weird one in Arizona. Yeah. Cedar thinks it's weird too. As you can see, just so many different ones, a lot of variety out there. I think, again, this is humanity's welcome call. It's the welcome to the Bronze Age. But we've already been kind of softened for this disclosure, as you see here. Queen Amidala from Star Wars. Was it really based on Queen Genepil, who was the last queen of the Tartars? In reality, when we look at this dress, when we see what they've taught us in Star Wars, it has been getting us ready for the contact. And it doesn't mean that the contact's all an illusion, it's all in our head. It just means, again, that they know that things are, inevitable. It's inevitable. We're leaving, and the Dark Age, the very small period in time when we, didn't understand that there's all sorts of life out there. It's very small in the bigger scheme of things. Most of the time, we know that the multiverse abounds with life because it's created by consciousness in order to have more tangible experiences.
I think these are great examples. This has been going on for a very long time, and there are people who do know what's going on. And then here you have your 1977 Spielberg film, Close Encounters. I mean, where does this come from? Where do these movie makers get this information?
Because they know. They simply know. And then how do they know? Well, they understand how things work. They understand, as they are well aware of reincarnating back in time and time again to play their roles in the Dark Age, in which they are the politicians, or they might be the actors, or maybe they are famous for one reason or another. The reality is they're part of the control system in the Dark Age, so they keep coming back and taking different roles, as they like, but playing a significant role in keeping humanity in the dark. And yet at the same time, the real answers have to always be there right in front of our faces, but just most people haven't really been looking.
No, not until now.
No, then this is, again, that change in perspective. It's an enormous one. So, stay warm out there. It's going to get cold in a lot of the northern tier states. It is heading towards the winter solstice after all.
Indeed.
As always, guys, thanks for your support. We look forward to your comments. Source bless and namaste.
Namaste.